Alright, what's up guys? Black Ops 7 Direct just came out probably about 5 days ago, and so they had about 17 minutes of, random things, campaign, multiplayer, zombies, whatnot, and during that video, during that 17 minutes, they had a bunch of just random sections within the video that kind of showed some gameplay, some screenshots, some smaller clips of not necessarily gameplay, but they sort of showed off, multiplayer maps as well as pieces of campaign. Um, and 2 months ago, they released a teaser trailer, and they showed this off. And so I believe this is part of the campaign. But this is the multiplayer map, the Forge, I believe. There's a couple. Within this screenshot here, it says Forge on it, and I can kind of show this later, but this is in the middle of the map. But a couple of the devs were asked during Black Ops Direct, they were asked what their favorite map was, and two of them I think said the Forge, and it was followed by like clips like this that kind of showed the word Forge on it. So I'd assume that this is the Forge in multiplayer. Um, and so what happened is I saw this image. And I do believe this is campaign, but I think this is going to be one of those things where they turn it into a multiplayer map. And so just to sort of visualize it before I actually hop into anything, I may refer to a couple sides of the maps. I'm going to refer to kind of like this end of the map as the dock side of the map. I may refer to this side of the map as like the helipad side of the map, because the helipad right here. This side I may refer to as like the driveway side of the map. And then this side I might refer to as the factory side of the map. So now I can kind of go into here and see that's the helipad. That is the dock over there. That's the factory, and that's like the driveway. Um, and I just kind of came up with these names while I was doing these timestamps because I wanted to be able to timestamp each point in the video where they showed something, so that I could easily go back and forth between all of these pictures or all of these clips, and sort of piece this map together. So 1059, turret in the middle of the map facing bridge on the driveway side. So that image, theoretically, if I'm correct, would be like here, sort of. And I can sort of explain these. I know right now it's kind of blocking the view, but basically that image was kind of taken. That's a window right up there. It was sort of taken on one side of this turret in the middle of the map, where, on the wall up here is written Forge, and then you can sort of see through um, this bridge over here, or see to this bridge, back towards the driveway side of the map. But yeah, so I just wanted to sort of give context on how I sort of pieced this together, what actually happened. And so I went through all these clips. I went through them multiple times. A lot of them had mini maps on them, which was an insane help in terms of being able to, figure out exactly what was going on. But actually, while I'm on this, here's one of those things in the middle, one of the walls in the middle. They're sort of curved around this circle. I didn't quite make it an exact circle, but there are walls in the middle of the map that kind of stand up about as tall as the character, or maybe a little bit taller. I'm not quite sure. Um, and within Black Ops Direct, there was an image from someone standing on the driveway side of the map where I believe it was a streak. Um, it was uh, I don't know where it was, but someone called in a sentry gun right here, and it kind of sat down here. They started shooting people like here and here, but through the middle of the map you could see like kind of movement, and it sort of looked like these walls were spinning around on kind of like a rotating either circular like piece in the middle that was all spinning, or just the walls themselves were kind of rotating around. I'm not quite sure how that's going to work in competitive play. Maybe it'll be dynamic, like a dynamic map element that you can turn off, but who knows? So yeah, let's run through a couple of the options you get off what I believe will be the spawn on the driveway side of the map. So, let's see. If you were to spawn up here, maybe in a search around or in Hardpoint or something, not quite sure what this map might be played for, not sure if it would be played competitively at all. But either way, if you were to spawn up on this side of the map, you would have one, two, three, four options on the driveway side of the map. And actually, I'm not sure if I uh, fully detailed, but I'm not really going to go through any of these specifically. But if you wanted to kind of like check back and, see for yourself, here were all the timestamps for each point in the Black Ops Direct video. This, again, was in the teaser trailer, this overhead view at 2:53. Um, and so that helped a lot, but that was not in Black Ops Direct. That was 2 months ago. But yeah, so your options off spawn over here are you can go left towards the factory side of the map. And this room I didn't get anything on. I left the roof open so that I could get in and out easily, but I did not get anything on this room specifically other than the general size based on the images from the outside and the clips from the outside, as well as in Black Ops Direct about 15 minutes into the to that video, there is a developer standing kind of here with a mini map on their screen, and I could sort of see behind them on the mini map and sort of see kind of where the lines were. There was three little door-looking things on the mini map. Not sure if they were doors. Not sure if it was more so just like this, and they were just like things that you needed to do, like to check credentials, maybe to get into this room or something. I'm not really sure what was going on. All I know is that it looked like there was three ways to get in once you got into this room. So, uh, and then so once you do get into this room, you're sort of in what I've been calling like the factory, um, just to keep track of the map and all the locations on the map on my own. Weird thing in the middle. Something I'm not sure if I quite like, but there is a random hut in the middle, and I can sort of show that here. So on this person's screen, while they were running through the map, this is the hut in the factory. You can see these white walls right here, and then you can see a white wall right here, and then you can sort of see even on the map here. It does look like you can get in there, but at the same time, this is closed. I don't know if that's just because of the way the top part went. I'm assuming you can get into it because it kind of looks like you can. I just don't know if there's a window back here or if this is just like a completely closed off like hut or office or something. So I'm not quite sure how that's gonna play. Might be a little weird, a little campy. But I don't know. Um, and then a little bit ahead of that was a van. There was like a purple or brown. I couldn't quite tell the color, but there was a van kind of up here. There was a cart with a whole bunch of like things on the top of it. Not too important, but in terms of the choices you can make when you get in here, you sort of have two. You just have two choices. You can take a route, a little automatic door, I believe, or it could just be a tunnel to mid. And so you would kind of just come up to the front of here and come up, and then you'd be in mid, right under a window. And you could also go to the left and take a couple of stairs, and then be prompted with a decision to make on continuing through the left side of the map or going up another set of stairs to this glass area that this developer is walking through right up here that sort of oversees the factory. Um, and so up here, so this is kind of like this is probably my favorite part of the map. Not sure how it's gonna play competitively, but I just like visually. I love the way the glass looks, and I love the way. I don't know. I just we haven't had a futuristic game in a while, and just something about these white walls, and this like floor, this like glossy kind of finish on the floor. It just reminds me of like the futuristic games that we've had in COD. But yeah, so this window room overlooks mid, and so again, you kind of have that choice once you get in here, like, okay, am I gonna, keep going left or am I gonna go up to the right, back up to, the driveway side mid. And so you got the window room, and then if you keep coming over the right, This was one of your options off spawn. This was a sort of just a plat that you could go up to off spawn, and you could either go right to a bridge, or you could go left to again this kind of glassed in area and this window room. Across the bridge that I do not believe you can see through is another section, sort of like a top plat kind of area. It looked like, based on someone's mini map in one of the clips, that there was some boxes here that maybe you could climb up to this with. One thing I wasn't quite sure of is if this is a wall that's actually taller than you that you can't see over, or if kind of how I've made it here, if it's like something you can use to look over down into mid. I'm not quite sure. I wasn't able to fully get a good shot of this, but I did get a mini map of just kind of the area itself, so I just placed a wall there. Um, Back here, there's a tree up here. This was your fourth option. So the first option was through there, the second option was through there, the third option was through under the bridge to mid, and your fourth option off of this spawn is kind of go right towards these towards this tree and towards just kind of this helipad side of the map. And from up here, you've got a cutoff to mid if this wall is low. If it's not low, then your option is to go left or to go right or to maybe even hop the wall if that's possible. But through to the right, towards this helipad side of the building, this room I did not get much on at all. There was a clip of someone standing sort of here, and there was obviously this image of the overhead view, but I'm not really like this area right here. I just could not get anything other than the fact that there's a skylight and there's like a wall here that um sort of looks like it cuts in like this. So I just kind of like threw a room in here. It could be a hallway, could be a room, not quite sure. Um, so either way, you come through there, and I believe that there's no room up here. I think it's just a straight hallway towards this other side bridge with a window looking out to mid. I could be wrong. There could be a room here with like a smaller room. I could have my scaling off in terms of how I built this. Uh, but basically, theoretically, this side, this dock side, also has a window that they can get to. As well as a way to keep pushing through the left side of the map. So far, the map does seem pretty symmetrical. The only thing that I, again, was kind of confused on is if the map is symmetrical or is supposed to be, this side doesn't really, I don't know, it doesn't really line up with what's going on over there on that wall unless there was something I missed. So yeah. So then when you come through here, you kind of get to this room in here, this sort of raised kind of second floor of this helipad side building. And your options from here are then to go to the window, go all the way across the bridge to the other side of the near the factory side of the map, which is over there still. And you also have the option of going down to the first floor. And so when you get down here, there's another cut back to mid. There is a door over here to the dock side of the map that is either here or here. I could not tell. There also may not be a door there at all. It could just be a window on one of these. I did not get a good view. There was someone in one of the clips standing here, and you could see their mini-map at the top of the screen, and it looked like there was something here, but it also looked like there was something here. So I kind of just put them in both spots. That way you could sort of visualize what's going on either way, whether this one's closed and this one's open, or whether this one's closed and this one's open. So either way, something's going on here. I think there's a way to get in somewhere around here. But then you're prompted with, when you get here, you're prompted with those doors, one of those doors, or a way to get into the right. Again, did not fill in a lot of these roofs just because I wanted to get the map out. But then here, there's a lot of stuff going on in this room. That would be in here. So there's like a little section where you can go up a staircase to a door. There's a door here that I can't tell if you can go through. That would be from here looking this way. Here's a little staircase to like a raised area. If this is a door you can go through, then there's a whole nother room back here. I did not think it was going to be a door you could go through, so I didn't build it that way. But it is possible that there's another door over here in the back that you can actually go through. If not, then how I think the map goes is this room into a hallway back here, and then out to a door to the dockside spawn. If there is a room back there, then I think what happens is this goes to a hallway into either going out to here or taking a left out there. So I'm not quite sure. I think I would rather it be like this and maybe not a room over there, but I also can't just sit here and, act like I know how the map's gonna play either way. So I don't know. We'll just kind of see how that works. And then you end up in their spawn, the other spawn, opposite from the driveway side of the map. And over here, there's a dock down here that I do not think you can go to, so I sort of closed it off. But over here, you have the option to go forward, straight forward, um, to one of these doors, whichever one's a door or window, whatever it ends up being. You can go straight left, I think, into that building. You can go straight to bottom mid, or you can go through the right over here, which I'm going to show right now. This room is also another one that I didn't get a lot of information on. What I do know is that I think, and let me see if I have the image pulled up. So there's a computer right there and an office chair. And so this is taken from outside of this window. Let me clear the weather really quick. This is taken from here. So there's that staircase, there's the bush on top of this thing, and there's the open window, and I believe a closed window, or it's just a wall. I can't tell. So I sort of made it look like a closed window just in case. But so they're standing right here, and it looked like a desk and a chair. So I'm assuming that this is sort of the office section of this complex. But I didn't really get a lot of this area. And so I don't know if after this office, I don't know if it's like an open kind of drop down for this whole room where it sort of, you kind of step down into this area. I don't know if this area is just automatically raised up and there's just floor all in here. But what I do know is that you go from this room to an area where you can get up the stairs, back to the other side, across a bridge, um, or you can go straight through to the factory. Another room here in the middle that I haven't been through yet, but I could not tell. The only thing I saw for this room is that let me see if I can pull it up. The only thing I saw for this room is let's do 2.75 really quick. Is that there's a thing in the middle of the room from this mini map. That's about this size, maybe a little bit shorter. And that the door is here, and that there's another door here. There was also a clip in mid where someone was standing. Oh, that's not mid. There was also a clip in mid where someone's standing right here, and you can sort of see through the mini map to this side and this area. And I think that's where I got the info that the door on this side, on the office side, is kind of like offset from the door on this side. But any of these things that I'm showing can also be changed in the final build. Um, and so, kind of take it all with a grain of salt, but I'm not sure if this is like a table or some sort of display of like weapons or something, or if it's like, taller than this. It might not even be like something where you come in this room and you can see over. It might be something where when you come in here you can't see anything until you actually, jump around this corner. Um, what I do know is that from what I've seen, the map does look three-laned. So that's a good thing. We do in the competitive community love a good three-laned map. And so with that being said, that's about the end of the map. I sort of, I'm glad. I feel like there were maps in the past that definitely could have been, kind of overwhelming in the middle of the map. I do think there's a lot going on when you open up this plat over here. Um, But I'm glad from what it looked like in the clips that I saw. I'm glad that the bridges seem to be kind of closed off. So here is actually that is the person standing here. And then I don't think you can see through these windows. I think these are like stained glass or something. But yeah, the person is standing about here. You can sort of see the window over here. You can see one of the things in mid. Here's one of those little things I was talking about earlier that kind of I think rotates around. Um, but yeah, so uh, I'm glad. I'm glad at least, from what I can tell so far, that these are not open. Now you may be able to break them. You may be able to break them and look through them. Um, but I do think that would add a lot of chaos in terms of like the middle of the map, and make it really, really hard to make plays in the middle of the map. So I'm hoping that those are closed, at least for the way that I'm seeing how this would work right now. But yeah, so I can sort of kind of fly up and give like an overview of the map. But this is what it's kind of looking like. So it almost looks like, you've got from the spawn, you've got a lane through here with a mid cut here, as well as a cut to kind of go up into this glass area across to the mid or to that window room, as well as a pretty defined mid lane that kind of cuts through these under these bridges from one side of the map to the other. Um, and then your right lane from the driveway side of the map, which would be coming up by this tree, over to this plat area, through into this helipad side building, and then all the options you get there to go down the stairs or across to the other side. It does seem like a pretty decent three-lane size. Or sorry, it seems like a pretty decent three-lane map with a good size, where it's not too small. It does seem on like the medium size map. It doesn't seem like it's too big. Where was that picture? But yeah, so hopefully this gives us a good idea of what at least one of the maps will look like. And I'm thinking that if there's a lot more maps like this, or more maps that in general just kind of have a design like this, they don't even necessarily need to be this size. I'm thinking we might be in for a decent year, hopefully. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. I'm gonna post this to the Reddit. Um, and then I'll either unlist my video or keep it public. I don't know. But I'm gonna post this to the COD competitive Reddit and then maybe the normal COD Reddit. And then let me know what you guys think. Feel free to go through all of these, and if you get bored and just like let me know what you think. If I got something wrong. There was a lot of things I chose not to do, like filling in the roofs. Um, and sort of angling. I didn't really want to spend much time making this a perfect circle, so I didn't. So I know that this in the actual map I think is more of a like nice circle. But yeah, so let me know what you guys think.